Hi everyone, I welcome you back all to my channel. Uh, from today onwards, I'll be starting a series on Terraform. And the reason being, in the market right now, Terraform is like most sought after skill. So wherever, even if you're SRE, you're targeting like cloud engineering roles or DevOps roles, or even for that matter, solution architect role. So everywhere they are asking for infrastructure as a code, and that's like Terraform is like a go-to-market tool for uh, the IT industry, I would say. So that's the reason I have done like a production grade setups on the Terraform. So I just wanted to go through the certification course for all of you for so that I can share the expertise with you, and you can use that in your environment, or maybe it will help you in growing in your IT career. All right, so I'll just share my screen. Let me share my screen here. And in this video, I'm just gonna like we will be just going over uh, syllabus and what we are going to cover in this course. So let me open this in the new window. I hope it's pretty visible for you. All right, so let's go and search for Terraform tutorials. And I would tell you this, like Terraform themselves has provided really good tutorials to learn the Terraform. And I'm just gonna go over the certification. So we'll be focusing on the certification part, because at the end of the day, when you're learning something in a for a certification, you are going to focus on major components, and you're going to practice more on those components. And the certification will be again a badge for yourself to showcase that on your resume, so it will help you. So let's go here and let's start this. And then first of all, there's a one learning path where you have like everything noted down based on the curriculum. Uh, so the first section is about the infrastructure, and then we have lots of like the hands-on stuff, and uh, lots of other things. All right, so this is the path that we might follow. But there's another thing, actually we can go and check the exam content list. So I think this is better than going to the actual path, because as I mentioned, like focusing on the certification first, and later on definitely we can go through all the other things. So first of all, let me open this for you. So what is Terraform? Okay, or what is this particular tool, and where it's gonna be used in the environment? So so let's try and understand first of all infrastructure as a code. So what is infrastructure as a code? So infrastructure as a code, that means I want to code my infrastructure in a file. So for example, if I'm deploying some kind of infrastructure on top of AWS or any other cloud for that matter, and I want it to be coded or version controlled, so I can basically write it down in terms of code, and then I can use that code to redeploy the same infrastructure again and again. Now this is very useful, because let's say you have multiple environments. In your case, let's say there's a development environment, there's a production environment, and there are lots of different things, right? So now when you want to deploy, let's say if you deploy one Kubernetes cluster on top of your AWS, now you want to deploy the same cluster, identical cluster, in different region, right? Or in different environment in this case. So in that way, you would need something, like you would need some software that you can use to deploy that, because if you do it manually, it's gonna take more time, and then you don't have the basically the files which you can reuse, right? So it's like a manual labor again and again. So infrastructure as a code will solve that problem first, where if I want to deploy the infrastructure multiple times, I now have the code and I can use that code to deploy it on, multiple times. It can be also be used to deploy the staging environment. Like I can deploy it as much as I want to, and I can destroy it as many times as I want. So that is another thing, I can have versionized code for my infrastructure. So basically, if I deploy something, I have exact state of that particular environment in my file. So next time, let's say if someone changes something manually and I want to basically, change it back to the original version. So I have the code. I can just go back to the code and then change that particular environment. So that helps to maintain the consistency in the environment. So of course there are lots of benefits, and we would be definitely discussing all the production level issues that we can fix using Terraform.